Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit of an experiment. I have seen where everybody is taking the extruded tubes and flattening them with the pasta machine and then making the circle, the ragged edge, you know, that. I've been watching Anna something, I don't know how to say the name, but I will link the video in the description. I've watched her video a couple of times and I really like the outcome, but I want to try something a little bit different. I've got some white pearl, gold, little yellow with pearl in it, a couple different blues that I've got here, some greens that I've got here. This is pearl. And what I'm going to do is try to extrude it to where it is the same thickness as the bead. And then I'm going to use the bead as the center and wrap the clay around it so that I'll end up with this sort of a rectangle shape. I wanted a square and I thought these beads were square, but they're not. So I guess I'll end up with a rectangle type shape. So that's what I'm going to attempt. I'm going to try a few things, just some small pieces to make sure that it's going to work first. And if it works, then you'll see the rest of the video. Alright, so I tried a bunch of different ways of stringing this, and I had it just on a strand of purple beads mixed up, and I didn't like it because it was just not enough. So what I'm doing is I'm adding fringe to this, and I will link the video down below to Susan's video with turtle soup beads. I really like the way she does her fringe and everything, but I wanted to show you that I'm doing it just a little bit different than she does. She takes and she does passes, like she'll do one pass through, and I've done one pass through, and that's what all this is here. And then she'll come back through and she'll have 2 in a spot, and then she'll go back through and she'll have 3 in a spot. And I was going to do that until I figured out that I could do it a little bit different. I don't want to keep going back and forth, so what I'm doing is I'm ending up with 3 as I go. So I've already come through and I've done one pass, and I have 1 piece of fringe in between each bead. Here, you can see. And what I've done is I went as far as I needed to, and I've turned back around, and once you get to the end and you have 1 here, this is what you're going to do if you want to do it this way. So let me get y'all a little bit closer. Alright, so this is what I'm working with. I've got some glass beads here. These are size 6. These are size 12 seed beads. And I'm just going to slide this back out of the way. And these clasp beads that I have, I think they're 4 or 6 millimeter. I don't remember. I think they're 4. Something around there. Alright, so I've got some thread, and I just have a sewing needle here. Let me get this out of the way. Alright. So as you see, I only have 1 piece of fringe in between these beads here. Okay. And I've brought my thread back through so that I'm in this space. So I'm going to go ahead and bead up another piece of fringe for it. And I've done this as random as possible. I did not want to try and make it a certain pattern. I just go along and grab whatever I feel like. So run that down. And then I'm going to go back through the end bead here. Or not, I'm going to go back through, but not through the end bead. That way it acts as a stopper. Pull that down. Alright, and now in between this one, I have 2 pieces of fringe. So I'm going to go down through this bead and come down to where this one has 1. And I'm going to add my fringe here. And the best advice I can give you to make this as easy as possible, it does take time to kind of find your method and routine, is to just take your time and go slow. Especially when you are running the beads down the thread. If you don't go slow, it's going to tangle up on you. And anytime you see it do this, pull this out and get it straight before you go to pulling on it anymore. If you want to do this as quick as possible, that's the best advice that I can give you, or you're going to spend a lot of time undoing your tangles. And I learned that the hard way. I also need good thread, good strong thread. because I was going to use some pretty purple embroidery thread that I had, but this is not very strong. This breaks very easily. This is satin here, and it breaks too easy. Anyways, all right, so I have the fringe on this one now. So now I've got, let me get this one out of the way. Two here where I started. There's two fringe here, and you got your center bead, and now I have two pieces of fringe here. So I went here, put a fringe, because I've already have one, so I added one here to make two, go down one bead, add to make two, and now we're going to go back up through this bead to come here and add a third. Another piece of advice is to lay it down on a flat surface and leave it there and not pick it up. Okay, so I'm here in my space that has just two here. Let me get out of the light so you can see. So I'm back up here to where I only have two. There's one and there's one. And now I'm going to add my third, and then I'm going to come back down here and add my third here. And these two spaces will have three in them, and we'll be done with those. Alright, and there's my third fringe in between this bead. And I have been tying my thread off each time that I go back down for my third one on this last pass before I start putting the last fringe, the third fringe for the last one on. Then before I do it, I tie it. I'll show you how to do that. So I'm down here, and I have two in between this one, and I'm fixing to add a third, but first I want to go in between. I have this on thick fishing line, so it's very sturdy. I'm going to grab the fishing line that I have. I'm not grabbing the thread, just that piece of fishing line. Okay, I'm going to grab a piece of fishing line right there. I've got my needle under it. It's not want to focus. Ugh, hold on. Alright, I had to move it up some. Alright, so I have it under the fishing line, and I'm going to just go through almost to the end. This is why I say lay it down, don't pick it up. See how it got all tangled up in there. Alright, so I'm under the line, and I'm going to pull this almost all the way through, and then I'm going to pass back through it, because I tried to pass through it when I made the big loop a while ago, and it got messed up and tangled, and so now I'm just pulling it down as far as possible, passing back through it to make my knot, tying it on there, and now I'm going to do my third fringe in this space here. Let's see, I have three in this space here, three in this space here. It's kind of hard to see, but let me do this. Alright, so you can see the three there. I've got three here. now. Okay. Now we're back to, let me tighten this up. Now we're back down. Go back down this bead. And we're now in the next space that has 1. I'm going to tie off here like I did before. And now you're here where you're in the 1 space again. So what you'll do is you'll put a fringe here. You're going to put 1 here. You go back down through here, put 1 here. Then you go back up and you put your 3rd here. Go back down through this and put your 3rd here. And then you'll go down and you'll do the same thing again. And it's just back and forth. You have 3 and then you move down to the next 2 and you do it in 2s. So you'll work with these 2 and then you'll work with these 2 and so on and so forth. And that's how I'm doing it so that I don't have to go all the way through and then all the way back again. If you want to do it that way, that's fine. I just wanted to show you the way that I'm doing it this way because it just seems like it's easier for me to do it all at once. So I'm going to finish this up, and once I'm done, I'll show you the finished piece. Okay, so I just finished doing the fringe on this, and I didn't think I was ever going to get done. And I added in the blue because I thought it really complemented it well and gave it a pop of color, so it's not just the purple. I used a lot more than I thought I would, but oh well. It looks good. These are just glass beads that I got off of Amazon. And make sure you can see this correctly. That's the pendant. There's all the fringe. And now I'm going to add the clasp, which is a metal one that I picked up from Hobby Lobby when they were having a sale. But I have to run all of this down so that it matches up evenly because it's not going to. So I just have to like push all this down and around. And then I'm gonna add the clasp. there is the finished necklace. I'm pretty happy with it. Love the fringe. I'm glad I went ahead and did another set to make it 3 instead of 2. It's very flowy, it moves, it's just cute. And I was debating on whether I should clear coat this or varnish it, and I think I'm gonna leave it matte because I mean there is shimmer in it, but I think I'm gonna leave it matte because there's just so much going on here with the beads and everything. I think if I made this glossy as well, it would just, I don't know, I think it would be too much. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to take these pieces that I made, and I have this one here too. I added some beads onto it. So I'm gonna take these and make something like this. I don't know if I'm gonna do fringe all over it, but we'll see. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoy this, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.